Hey guys, what's up? Eric Board here, back after a little review. Today we're going to be doing is reviewing the SVE Coilover system for all 99 and 2004 Ford Mustangs. Now I just installed my system on the back of my car, in the front of my car here, so you can see behind me. So I want to do a little bit of review, kind of talking about exactly how the car feels the coilovers, how she handles, what was my experience installing the coilovers, and how I got this fitment. Now you can definitely see the car is a lot lower than she was stock. In fact, I had factory shocks and springs in the car beforehand, factory ride height, and now she sits so much lower. She looks so mean, so clean. I mean, you could fit basically 2 fingers in the gap here, which is definitely, she's pretty low. I'm probably gonna have to raise her up a little bit because it just, the cats scrape on everything. Also, to be abundantly clear, this is not a sponsored video. I know a lot of people do sponsored content on car parts and stuff. I want to be 100% transparent. This is not sponsored. I pay for these myself. I was not given any kickbacks from late model restoration for these. This is a pure, unbiased, honest review on the product. Now, that being said, I think it's time we take her on the road and kind of do our full review and see how she drives. So right off the bat, we're going to talk about value for money. $800 for a set of coilovers that aren't complete garbage is a good price. I mean, coilovers generally are pretty pricey. They can go, I mean, as low as $500 for a real cheap set, or as high as, I mean, the moon is the ceiling with coilovers. Really, you can get them pretty expensive for coilover solutions for your cars. That being said, these come in at a pretty budget-friendly price point. They're not really cheap, but they're affordable for most enthusiasts. Right away, I'm sure everyone wants to know performance. How do these feel? And let me tell you, honestly, the ride quality is a bit more bumpy. It's actually a lot more bumpy than previously. I had stock suspension, so that's why. Compared to lowering springs, I can assume this is a bit different than springs, but not that much more. It's bearable with the ride. It's not jarring. It just, you definitely notice the bumps more than you do on a stock suspension. But again, that's nothing to be really worried about, I would say. The handling. How do I describe this? It feels like a different car. Previously on stock suspension, the suspension of these cars are kind of floating from the factory, and it almost feels like the front and the rear are working against each other. They're not connected, they're not on the same page when you're driving. So when you're coming into turns, the front and the back don't feel connected. Even with my tire setup, I have a ton of mechanical grip with a 275 in the front and 315 in the back, but you don't really have that confidence in the corner because the suspension doesn't really feel like it's working together. It doesn't feel like one cohesive package. They just feel separate. Now, with the coilovers installed in the car, I can tell you immediately it feels like a different car. The suspension feels so much tighter. Specifically in the turns, you really feel a lot more confidence, right? The suspension now acts as one. The suspension now acts as one. What I mean by that is when you come into a corner, it no longer feels like you're floating on top of the car, and it no longer feels like the front and the back aren't communicating with each other. They feel like one cohesive unit. The car sticks to the road a lot better. You can take turns at a lot higher speeds, and you have so much more confidence while doing it. It's honestly truly a life-changing model for the car. Now, I knew the car didn't handle that great. Obviously, stock suspension, 2000, it's a 16-year-old Mustang. I didn't expect it to handle that great. But when I put the coilovers on, I was honestly so impressed. Especially for the price point, the handling is on par with a much more expensive car. Now, you heard that, just scrape again. That's the catalytic converters. They're a bit low to the ground. Those are some things that I kind of have to work on raising. I have to raise the car a little bit so that doesn't happen anymore, because that is just majorly annoying. It's product quality. Instructions that they provide you with, kind of garbage, not gonna lie. The instructions are pretty, so what happens is on the LMR website, they give you instructions for the coilovers in the form of a Word document. I'm not gonna get out here, am I? They give you Word document instructions, and they're pretty awful. No pictures, just steps listed kind of vaguely, not good word instructions. There is a video on their YouTube channel about how to install them, except that video is on a Fox body Mustang. So we might be thinking, okay, well, Fox bodies and I said 95 is a new engine on the same chassis, not a problem. Well, actually, there's a bit of a difference between the coilover kits. Now, caster camber plate construction on the Fox bodies versus the SN95 and New Edge kits is different. While it may not seem like a big deal, it kind of is a big deal. Because the bolt structures, the nuts are different on both of the kits. So when you're installing them, the torque specs are different. So if you follow the Fox body video verbatim and torque it to the exact same levels as the Fox, you're going to have an issue. Specifically, my issue happens, and then you murder a washer and murder a nut and have to get new ones from Home Depot because you killed them, because the video's annotation popped up a little late for the when I was tightening it down. But that's okay. The install itself isn't too difficult. It took me a couple days working in the driveway to do it. It's not that hard. You can definitely do the driveway, some basic hand tools. Impact gun definitely helps a lot, but it's not too difficult to install them. I definitely say anyone that's mildly mechanically inclined would be able to do it relatively easily. Now, how is the quality of the product itself? The product quality is not bad. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. The parts seem to be pretty stout. Again, some of the hardware, the nuts and bolts, not bolts, sorry, nuts. I would like them to be a little bit higher of a grade bolt, maybe a little stronger, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's not that big of a deal if you only torque them to like 32 foot-pounds or whatever the kids, 32 foot-pounds, the kids said, for some of them. Things to know, but yeah, 7 out of 10. The reason I give it 7 out of 10 is I had a couple issues with the install and after the install. First off was the front struts. The front struts provide shims to shim between the spindle and the strut, right? You get 4 shims, 2 for each side. The 2 shims weren't enough to make it the spindle and the strut tight, flush against each other where the mounting points are. So I had to go to Home Depot, buy some like sheet metal hangers for like I think it was for a gutter, and cut them and make shims out of those, so that I would be able to. Fuck you. I had to go to Home Depot to buy a couple of sheets of metal to make shims for the car, just because it was so difficult. Because I had to go to Home Depot and buy a couple of pieces of metal and use them to create shims, because the it just wasn't going to line up correctly on the shims. So that's kind of something that I wish wouldn't have been an issue, but it was. Ooh, nice Camaro here. Good car. Nice SS. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so quality of product not bad. Also, after the install, I've got a couple of new squeaks around I didn't have previously. Now, the back end of my car is always squeaked. That was before the suspension upgrade. Don't really know why. I think it had something back there. There's a bushing that needs to be replaced back there. I knew that previously, and I had to fix that still. Up front though, didn't ever really make any noises. The front of the car never really made any noises until now though. Now I have a really faint squeak on the front end of the car, specifically right the front suspension pieces are. Now I think that has to do with the caster camber plates on this kit versus the stock ones, but the stock strut mounts to the front. The stock strut mounts to the front had a little bit of a rubber gasket. Hold on, we'll pull here. I'm on a close course, by the way. But the stock one had this little bit of a rubber kind of gasket or mount in between that I think mitigated that sound. Now these are just metal on metal, so you don't have any of that rubber gasket, so you're going to get a bit more of a sound from that. That's my hypothesis on that. Now I also get a really weird kind of clunk at real low speeds. Under 5 miles an hour, you get a real clunk on turning. Not exactly sure what is the cause of the clunk. I don't know if it's coilovers per se, maybe the sway bar's not put in correctly, but it's a weird clunk I can feel through the steering column and the pedal box at slow speeds. But obviously, can't really address that now, can't put fault in the coilovers yet, so I'll have to update you guys later on, a couple months down the line, and see how the coilovers are still holding up, if they're still as good as I think they are currently. So all in all, I would say that I would definitely recommend these coilovers at this stage of the game right now. I think they're a good value for money, and I think you really get what you pay for with these. I think they're very good with the way they operate, they feel amazing. In the turns, you're going to notice it so quickly how much different this car feels in the turns than it did with the stock suspension. It's a different car. The handling is so much better. The body roll is mitigated substantially, and the car just feels like it's a coherent piece when you're driving it. And it's so refreshing to feel that in a 16-year-old Mustang that I can't really speak highly enough about the coils. Besides some minor construction gripes with the installation instructions and maybe some of the parts and noise and stuff I heard afterwards, I definitely think that it's a good kit. If you're looking to get a kit for this price point, $800, you should definitely go with the SVE Coilover kit. I think you get a lot of performance for the money. It was helpful for you. I hope that anyone that was looking to purchase coilovers for their Mustang or lower their car kind of got some value out of this. If you have any questions at all about this I didn't answer in the review, comment down below. I'll be happy to answer every single one of them. I do want to make sure that you guys get the best experience out of your Mustang as possible. So yeah, feel free to comment below. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know. I'll be happy to address them. Have a good one, guys. Peace.